Going to review the week, talk about things. Let's start off with the dollar. Got the breakout yesterday that I've been talking about. A lot of did you add on? It was an add-on position. So we said we're going to ride this up towards 101, 102, maybe 103. 103 is halfway back from the high at 110. That was 14 handles, so 7 would take it to 103. So you have to sell rips if they happen. Euro, I think minimum is around this 112 and a half. Pound under 130 is possible, maybe 128 handle. Even Aussie's starting to relent here and is on the verge of breaking down, maybe 64 initially, but I'm looking for 62. And then a very long-term buy where we'll see Aussie with a 70 handle plus. So that's the currency call. It was a very good trade. I talked about the dollar from the day the Fed eased. That was the low. So pretty good 96.20, 99.30, 300 maximum pips if you just bought it here, held it, didn't trade out of it. I also want to talk about the two live streams I did this week. I want to review Bitcoin. Okay, so on Tuesday, I was talking about the three drives to a top formation, and we were here above 124, and I said you could look for 120. So it didn't get there on the first call. And then when I was on yesterday, I said you could be short at this 24 level or at least put something on. And I think you could see 116. I still believe that. I think that Bitcoin is giving us a signal. There's some other things happening, like credit spreads widening out, and more strength in the dollar, which is, part of the reason people buy Bitcoin is to diversify out of the dollar. So if the dollar is going to have a run for a while, I think it's going to pressure everything, and including Bitcoin. In fact, Ethereum looks worse, and that's the one that's supposed to lead the way that everyone said, the alt season and Ethereum will outperform Bitcoin. Well, in a way, they're right. They're outperforming to the downside. All right. Let's take a look at S&Ps here now, because I think we're really only potentially one more high away from the high. I'm going to look at this. Peter is here like an ending diagonal, and looks like that's what we have here. So it could be as early as next week if we get one more push up, maybe towards 6,800 here. To me, momentum is really starting to die there. So the Dow looks even weaker, right? See that? So I think we're very close to some type of top there. And the other big development is in the gold silver ratio. I think we're trying to bottom here in the gold silver ratio. We're down here. We're getting some divergences. It's gotten to 78. I'm going to be, this I think is going to be important for calling a turn in the metals. So we've had one, we've had two, maybe we have one more shot down next week, or the bottom could be in now. And I think we're going to get a pretty good rally back to 90-ish, I think is viable. Let me see here. And then I do want to bring up one more trade that I have a toe in, and that my mind has shifted with what's happening in yields. But we're diverging on the daily, so I think a rally to 90 is possible. That would be, we had it from 107, 30, 15. Yeah, 90 I think is doable, maybe 95, which means that for a time period while this is going up, and I think it will be directional, is going to go up during the correction in the metals, and for a while, silver will be the underperformer. Silver, hasn't done anything wrong yet, except let me show you one thing about the structure. Look at the RSI structure in silver, never confirmed, compared to gold. So gold, now if we make a new high, let's say we trade above this high and we go to 4,200 or so, this time on the intraday, gold will not confirm. Um, so I also wanted to show, dust is down just a little with the metals coming back. Dust put in a good week. I'm long the 12 calls, and I think it could go to, 15, 16. That's, 50% return on dust. I'm in calls. So the shares actually, and that's another reason why the physical is close to a top, because when gold was skyrocketing, um, Newmont wasn't. It was just grinding to a new high. Same with GDX. Doesn't look anything like gold did. Gold was a parabolic advance. So if you believe the stocks lead, and I think there's a shot for 65, 70, then 65 in GDX, that should pop dust pretty good. And I did want to say that this week's action in the 10-year is not what I was looking for. Maybe it's going to hold. It's sure taking its time. It hasn't taken out 4% yet, but I'm much more neutral now. TLT's looking better. Trying to gap up here. Maybe we're going to 93. And maybe people are buying bonds because they smell a risk-off trade coming, maybe sometime early next week. We're only about 40 handles away from the 6,800 level. Okay, so let's see what happens here. Take a screenshot. I'll be my shorting candidates are going to be. I'm looking for. There's a Mag 7 right here, so I'm looking to short the Mag 7 at new highs. Okay, I already own this. This is a triple bearish semiconductor index. I own the January 5 calls here. Maybe one more low into next week. I'll be adding on, but I like this for potential short. I think down the road that we could be trading, gosh, back under the July lows here. So I think there's a nice trade setting up there as well. So that's what I see for this week. Hope you had a good week in the dollar. Caught some of that Bitcoin action. Uh, Bitcoin, I think, is going to 100K. And the last trade I want to show, which is going to be counterintuitive, is that I think we could still have a continuation rally in the dollar, that the dollar hasn't peaked, and also put in a high in USD yen. And that's because yields are coming down and that there may be some risk off. So stalking this for a top, tried it a few times, just small money, but I think we could at least correct back down towards 150, the prior high before the election. So everyone have a great weekend. Let me know how you're doing in the markets. If you have any questions about my analysis, you could also leave it under the video. You could come into the room on TradeGateHub. It's free, and that's where I post my ideas. And don't just count your pips, count your blessings. I'll see you all Monday. Have a great weekend. Adios.